Mark, I see some questions in the chat about Cade McNamara. Can we address those? Um, I saw OS for Hawks wanted to know if there's any current news on the soft tissue injury. From what I've been told, he's not back yet. Okay, so the plan as of last week, I know Big Ten Network was there. That's something we could talk about. I did publish some content on that last week. Mark, Big Ten Network did come to Iowa City, and it was reported that Iowa hopes to have Cade back this week, but they're going to be real careful with him. I've said it multiple times. I'm going to be coming out with my top indispensable players on this roster, which I always think is a cool piece to publish. A lot of Iowa platforms do that every year. Cade McNamara, I mean, I don't think I'm spoiling anything when I say Cade McNamara is number one. And I don't know the last time, maybe ever in the Kirk Ferentz era, that there was one player as important as Cade McNamara is to the outcome of this season. Now, do I think Iowa's season goes in the dumps if he's out? I still think they can win 7-8 games without him because of how dominant this defense was last year. Look at what they did with Spencer Petras at quarterback and a lack of running game and a lack of offensive line play and wide receiver production. They still won 8 games, 7 games in the regular season. But if they want to be able to have a chance to compete for the West and win the West, I do think they need Cade. There's no chance that they can win a Big Ten title without Cade. I'll say that right now. Like, they're not going to Ohio State or they're not playing Ohio State or Michigan in the championship game with a real chance. And it's hard to say 3 months in advance, but I really do feel that way. He is the most indispensable player, I think, of the Kirk Ferentz era. Some may make an argument that Brad Banks was in 02. I know Tom Kakert brought up Drew Tate, 05? But, man, Deacon Hill may be able to come in and fill the void. I think Deacon Hill's got a really good arm. He's lost some weight, which I think he needed to do once he got here from Wisconsin, but he's never played. And Joe Labus has been hurt. He's played 1 game. Marco Lainez just got here, did not enroll early. He's never played. Tommy Pahalski is a legacy guy, but he's never played and is a walk-on. They don't return anybody really with experience minus Labus, who played in 1 game. That's what's crazy about this quarterback room, and I observed that after Kids Day. It's insane, the turnover at that position. It's a position that's usually, you lose a guy or two, usually a guy every year because somebody wants to go somewhere else with a chance to start. But when's the last time we could say we've lost Petras, Padilla, and now potentially Labus out with an injury that I don't know what his future is. I have not heard much of any update on him. As of right now, he's still apparently working his way back. I wonder if we'll ever see him get another snap at Iowa because it's so hard to play catch up when you miss time. And I think Deacon Hill was perhaps ahead of him in the spring. From what I've been told, Deacon picks up things football-wise maybe a little bit quicker than Joe Labus does. I just think it's just such a unique situation. I just think Cade's health is so important. Somebody made the comment during a show with Don Patterson and I recently that, man, this quarterback room is so much better than it was last year. The QB1 is so much better than they were last year. And maybe QB2 is, but I wouldn't bank on that at all. So they've got to keep him healthy. Last I was told it was a quad strain. Somebody made the comment, I heard it was a quad tear. He's not torn anything. Right now he's dealing with a strain. It is a thing that could become worrisome if they can't get it under control. So they're going to be careful with him. But as of last week, the plan was to get him back this week, but they're going to be really careful with him. And then the question becomes, if he's ready for week 1, can you keep him healthy throughout the season? Then we dive into a discussion of, does it change how Iowa game plans? He's not the most mobile of quarterbacks, but he can scramble. He's kind of like a Jake Rudock in the fact that he's got decent feet. Iowa's had some questionable status, I guess, at right tackle. They've had some injury situations at right tackle. It sounds like Dejon Parker has improved as it relates to his injury, his knee swelling. That's what I was told earlier today. I don't know if he's back full speed yet, but like those are the storylines that I think now that we're heading this deep into camp that I'm following heading into game week is not only is Cade healthy, but do they have an answer at right tackle? Is Dejon Parker healthy? If Cade is back, will he have a brace on a I guess if it's a quad, he probably wouldn't, but will it change how they game plan against Utah State? Will it change what they show against the Aggies compared to what they may show week 2. I think they need, in an ideal world, they need to have him out there and be able to toss the ball around the field and get comfortable in a game situation with a lot of different personnel. When's the last time we could say they've had a different quarterback? They've had, a guy in Eric All who may be the second best player on offense, who's new to the program. They've got a totally new crop, minus Nico Ragaini and Deontay Vines. They basically got a totally new crop of receivers. I was thinking about this earlier, Mark. They've got five new scholarship receivers. 5. That's and that may not seem big to some, but that's a huge number when you think about Seth Anderson coming in, Caleb Brown coming in, and the 3 freshmen who are on scholarship plus walk-on. So it's those are my things that I'm looking for over the next week or so. But from what I've been told, Dejon Parker's doing better health-wise, and they're going to be careful with Cade.